Hey YouTube, a fistful of goats here, and I'm showing you a new deck today. See, for the last couple of weeks at my Yu-Gi-Oh events at locals, I've come 2 and 2, and I decided I wouldn't post another one of my decks until I broke that 2-2 curse. Well, last night I went 3 and 1 with a rogue deck that just smashes through the opponent's boards. It's rank 10 trains. Yeah, now this is not the Earth Machine deck, this is pure trains. It's hard go second, it's make a big fatty, and it's hit the opponent hard in the face. Simple and effective. So I went 3 and 1. My only loss was to Leah's Virtual World deck. Go watch that video first if you haven't. And then I defeated Gren Marju, Phantasm Spiral, and then my only meta win was against Kashtira. So I'm just going to showcase this to you today. For our first trains, 3 super bullet train. This card can be special summoned if I have another Earth Machine, and at the end phase, if it's in the grave, and we send that turn, I get any machine back from my grave to my hand. So this is good because trains in the past have struggled with comeback, but this does give us options to go if we don't win in one turn to keep our hand full of resources for the next turn. It's also one of our best ways to go into our rank 10s. Next we've got the old classic 3 Night Express Knight. And we complement that with 2 Derek Cranes. So this is simple. It's a level 10 you can normal summon. Its point square is 0, but that doesn't matter because you're going to be ranking it up right away. So, there that. Dora is our removal piece. You only need 2 because of the amount of searching we have in this deck now. But basically what Dora does is it can be summoned when you summon an Earth Machine. So it's another body for a rank 10 play. And it's one of the few creatures that gets its effect off of being detached. So you can detach it from an XC, and then when you do, you pop a card on the field. This helps clear the way for the OTK, which is what the deck's trying to do. Next, double Ruffian Railcar. We use this with a certain spell. It does a little bit of burn damage, and if it's sent to the grave, you can add a machine to your hand from your deck. So it's another way to back up your hand. Next, for our train engine, we have double Pegasus. Again, don't think we need 3, this deck's already 42 cards. On summon, this card brings a train from the grave, and it can become a level 10 itself, so it's another way to make our rank 10s. And finally, the Machina engine, 2 Cruncher and 1 Citadel. Citadel, honestly, never came up, never got to play him, but he can be a pretty powerful monster. But this is what I want to talk about. It's a level 9, so it doesn't really synergize too much with the rest of the archetype. But on summon, it can let you go through your deck, pick 3 Earth Machines, and make your opponent give you 1. So it's a good way to get out of cloggy hands. Also, I do play a couple of links, so this can help me link climb. Those are the machine monsters. Next, the Kaijus, 3 Jijikiru. It's a level 10 machine, so we can make our trains. That's what we get when we Kaiju Slumber. Then we have 1 Shadow, 1 Gadala, 1 Gamma Seal. There should be 3 Kadalas for Wind Statue, but I haven't got them yet. These are what you give your opponent. Also, these are really good if your opponent is playing a lot of spell and trap negation, because a lot of this deck is spells. Like, I had a friendly with a friend in the middle of the tournament, and he put up Hope Harbinger, so I just kaiju'd it away before busting his board with a Regeki. And that's all the monsters of the deck. No hand traps, because we don't care what our opponent makes, we're just looking to smash it as fast as possible. Triple Revolving Switchyard with the accompanying Terraforming. This is the way it makes the deck tick. It lets you filter through your deck to get the exact level 10s you need by discarding a card. Also, we can summon level 4s if you need them. Next, the best card in this deck, Special Schedule. It's pretty much the emergency teleport for the deck. It's a quick play spell that lets us summon 1 level 5 or higher and 1 level 4 or lower machine from our deck. So this card is a good way to start up. It's a good starter. It's a good way to prevent yourself from losing because it's a quick play. So if your opponent does manage, if you go first and your opponent out your Super Dora, you can use this, get 2 bodies on the board, and hopefully stave off being OTK'd yourself. Double Special Schedule is the Monster Reborn of the deck. It didn't have room for 3. This is great again making comebacks, but also if you send something like Dora or Gustav Max, you can send Titanium material for their effect, get it back, and if you've got another extender, you can make another train. Final Kaiju card. Everything else in this deck is board breakers. 3 Slumbers, 3 Dark Rulers, 2 Droplets, and 2 Nagekis. I couldn't find my Nagekis, I borrowed some from a friend. So, honestly, if I had one, I would definitely play 3 Droplet in this deck, because I think this is generally the best. Because trains actually work really well if opponent has monster on the field. Your big monster wants to attack a bunch of monsters, so making that and then using this, you can pretty much almost always OTK. Nageki or Lightning Storm, you know what I do, this way to wipe monsters you can't out. This is actually the worst board breaker in the deck because you're trying to OTK with a ton of big damage. So this card, this card, the one taking damage can be a problem because you don't always have many resources after you've done this. But it's still pretty good in the worst case scenarios, so I'm still going to keep it. And of course, Kaiju Slumber, it's a ball wipe, it gets us a level 10 machine on the field, and it can be recycled for another Kaiju if we need it next turn. So give the deck more follow-up. And that's our main deck. 42 cards. For the extra deck, for the trains, 2 Libre, 2 Dora, 1 Gustav. So you only need 1 Gustav max, because if you make, you only need to take them to 2001 usually to OTK in this deck. This is our go first play because you can quick effect, detach material, make it unaffected by card effects. So it's a good 4,000 point wall to hide behind if you're forced to go first. And of course, this is our big finisher. You put him over a level 10 machine, detach material, he can attack monsters up to the number of times equal to his material plus 1, and he gains 2,000 points. That's 2 or 3 attacks with a 6k monster, that's usually enough to OTK. Also, he's also a pretty good thing to turn to Zeus if you don't do that afterwards. Other 10s, we have the spiders. These are mostly just here for Zeus, but this card's ability to bash monsters can actually help you OTK. Next we have Optimus Prime, aka Super Dimensional Robot Galaxy Destroyer. He's a Harpies with 5,000 points, it's pretty powerful. We have the Honourable Train in Skypalax Grandial. It pops a card and does 1k damage. It's kind of like a mini Gustav Max in terms of its damage, and it's got a 3/4 body, so it's still pretty powerful. And that's the last of the 10s. Next we have 1 Zeus, because like I said, you make big XCs with a lot of materials, so if you don't OTK, this is a good way to finish your turn. And for the other way to OTK, we have Bottle Sword Dragon. You can if you get a good hand, you can spam the field with monsters, so this is easy to make. Finally, for going first, we have Future and Appaloosa. Now this didn't come up, but this did. Because this and a Protected Dora are very hard for everyone to out. And that's the main deck of the trains. You see, I'll breeze the side deck. Droll. Side frames. And shifter, the hand traps for certain matchups, because even though this kind of hurts train with Pegasus, it's not so much that you don't want to play this. Because being into this doesn't cripple our deck like it does a lot of other decks. You can still make your rank 10s and OTK, but this can stop you from making a board that you can't break through. Same thing with these. This is, if you can shut down a combo deck where they can only make 1 or 2 plays, they're very easy to run over, which way we play this. And this is just a good no button, because trains can sometimes struggle if they're hand trapped, so this is a good way to hopefully get around that. 2 golems for extra kaijus. Extra kaiju they can burn can sometimes be enough. Plus, sometimes taking out 2 monsters that are in defense and putting this in attack can be enough to win if you run it over with Libre. And of course, D-Barrier, because it's D-Barrier. You know this. Yeah, so I played trains and smashed through my competition. I'll be playing it again on Sunday, so it's gonna be fun. I don't think this deck's like I'm gonna be meta or anything, but if you want to turn your brain off and do fun smashy things, this is a good way to do it. See you guys in the next one.